Hey everyone, it's Haley, and today I'm going to be talking about overhyped books. So before I go into the books that I think are overhyped, I would just like you to take note that even though I think these books are overhyped, doesn't mean that you necessarily should. It doesn't mean that you should be ashamed of liking them. It's awesome if you love them. I just personally don't think they were as good as I had been led to believe, and you may also think that about a lot of the books that I like. So please do not take this as a personal attack on your opinions, and do not personally attack me, because everyone has different opinions, and that's part of what makes booktube great, because not everyone agrees on everything, and we're all able to like different books. We have different tastes. It's awesome. So just accept that some of these are pretty controversial and you might get mad at me for it, but please do not leave a mean comment. I would appreciate that. Okay, let's get into it. So I'm gonna finish off with the most controversial ones. So the first one that I want to talk about is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. Now, I went into this expecting a beautiful, fantastic story, and I got beautiful, but I didn't get a fantastic story. The writing is amazing in this book. It's this historical fiction following a blind girl in World War II. She lives in France, which has been occupied by the Nazis, and I really liked it. I just don't think that I got much of a story from it. I honestly can't really tell you what happened in this book because I don't think there was much of a plot line. It was just kind of flat for me. It had lots of potential, but it failed a little bit. I might give this another chance when I'm a little bit older, maybe whenever, like if I ever go to France, something like that. I don't know, but just for right now, I felt like it was not nearly as good as I had thought it would be. The next one is Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. Now, this book was getting a crazy amount of hype around when it first came out. People were going absolutely nuts for it, and I thought it was really good, but I didn't think it was as fabulous as people had been saying it was. It was kind of a little bit too juvenile for me, I guess. It was really fun, really spunky, but it didn't really pack the punch that I was really looking for, because it is a paranormal sort of thing. So it's about this girl who's a beauty queen, well, a beauty queen-esque kind of thing, like that Southern Belle person, and she finds out that she sees her janitor like killing someone or something with the janitor, and she ends up being this supernatural figure who has to protect this one dude, so she has to take up this role as this supernatural person. I thought it was just gonna be a lot cooler than it was, and it just wasn't really that cool, but I did really enjoy it. I just don't think it's as great as most people say. The next book is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I'm really sad that this book is on this list. A lot of people have been going nuts since this came out, and I just don't think it was that good. I have a full review for it, so I will link it down below. I did really enjoy it, but I just don't think that it is at the caliber that it should be at. I felt like there were a lot of info dumps, lots of slowness to the story, insta-love, the romance was just not there for me, but I do think the rest of the series has potential, so this one is kind of a temporary one because I really don't think this first book was really fabulous. The next book is the Splintered Trilogy by A.G. Howard. You may be surprised to see this one on here, but I'm not counting the actual first book in this one. I'm counting the other two. I think the first book was really strong. I really loved that one, but I was very disappointed by Unhinged and Ensnared. I gave both of these a pretty low rating. I just felt like the story just became so much about the stupid love triangle, nothing about the Alice in Wonderland retelling. Like, you didn't get much of the Alice in Wonderland world, which was kind of disappointing for me, so these just kind of fell flat. Next is the Ruby Red trilogy by Kerstin Gier. So this is Ruby Red, Sapphire Blue, and Emerald Green. I had really high expectations for this trilogy because people had said it was so fantastic, and honestly, besides the spunky narrator, this series could have been just done in one book of like a 200-page book. It was so long and nothing really happened. It was just more of the same stuff in every book. You never really got anywhere. I felt like I was just running on the spot the whole entire time. So it just didn't really do that much for me. I felt like it had a lot of potential, but it just didn't live up to it. And even Kerstin Gier's most recent book, Dream a Little Dream, was the same thing, so I just don't think she is for me. The next book I'm not going to talk too much about, and that is All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I just didn't really agree with this book's portrayal of mental illness, and kind of caregivers and adult figures were kind of made to be these devilish figures, which I didn't really agree with. So I just had a lot of problems with the portrayal of things in this book. Next is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Now this book I didn't hate, and I think it's good, but I don't think it's fabulous, and I don't think that it's anything different than any other YA book. I'm hoping that maybe in the rest of the series it will start to get a little bit more unique, because right now it's just kind of like a bunch of YA books combined. I think it does have potential, but I honestly don't think it's really just amazing, fabulous, wow, anything like that, so I just think it's a little overhyped. Next is the Across the Universe trilogy by Beth Revis, which consists of Across the Universe, A Million Suns, and Shades of Earth, which was very difficult to show you just then. This series was really good. It was cool, it had this mystery aspect to it, but a lot of people this is in like their favorite series, and I just don't think it's that good. Personally for me, awesome if you loved it, but I just feel like it didn't have that much going for it, because these two books were like kind of, were almost identical, and then this one was the one where things really got going. So I just felt like the story, while it went places, it kind of went the same places over and over again. So I would have liked to see it kind of vary from book to book with the plot. These last two I would say are the most controversial. So the first one is Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. So many people really love this series, and I don't know if it's because I didn't read it in like the midst of the vampire hype, or I didn't read it when I was younger, but it just did nothing for me. I felt like it was just corny but boring. I didn't like, and then I watched the movie and it made me not like it even more. Like, it was just not my thing and not very good to me. I don't know, I just meh. And the final one is one that you guys are probably gonna hate me for, and that is the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. This series, I loved it as a kid. I loved the first 3 books. We had a nice, clean ending. It was great. But then they decided to add 3 more, and I just don't think it was necessary. The story was done. It was fine. But now, like, with the other 3 books, it just kind of got exhausting, and it kept on going, and I just didn't really enjoy it as much. I didn't hate this series, and I do think it has a lot of cool things. I just don't think the last 3 books were necessary, and they didn't need to be in the same series. If it had been like a sub-series that took place a little bit later, like, that would be really cool, but having it follow the same series, it was just kind of like, okay, I've read this already, but now the character just has a different name. Like, I was just meh. So those are all the books that I wanted to talk about today. Once again, please don't take any of these to heart. Like, if you love this book, any of these books, that's awesome. You guys you always tell me how overhyped The Fault in Our Stars is, so I'm fine with it. Some of you guys think that that's overhyped. I don't. Some of you guys may think that some of these books aren't overhyped, and that's fine. We all have our own opinions. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what releases you think are overhyped, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!